because he was the most favored. Who knows what it is?
A horse.
A jacket. It wasn't just a plain old ugly jacket. Wait, Cameron is answering. What is it? It was a colorful jacket. Now, many colors. Did his brothers like him?
No.
They were jealous. What did they do to him? They threw him in a well. And then some guys came along who were traders in another country, and they pulled him out of the well, and they took him with them to Egypt, right? And then they sold him to a guy whose first name starts with a P. Potiphar. Potiphar bought him. He gave the guys who pulled him out of the well some money. He took Joseph, and away he went to the king's palace. In the king's palace, the king in Egypt is named... Not right now. What's the king's name? It sounds like an F. Pharaoh. It's Pharaoh.
Good job, Roxy.
I said cheater. It's Pharaoh. So Pharaoh liked, he said it was cool that Potiphar got Joseph and he let Potiphar make Joseph like the guy in charge. And then along came Mrs. Potiphar and she got Joseph some hunky hunk and she tried to do what to him?
Kiss him.
She tried to kiss him.
They remember that.
Is she supposed to be putting her lips on someone else? No, she's not.
Yeah, buddy. Here, buddy.
So Joseph tries to do the right thing in
Good
her
job.
way, and Mrs. Potiphar grabs his, he grabs his coat, and then she tells Mr. Potiphar a lie that she said that Joseph tried to smooch her, but she was the one trying to do the smooching. So what happened to Joseph then? What did Potiphar do to Joseph? He was thrown in jail. That's right. So he goes in jail, and while he's in jail, this is what happened last week. He met a butler, which is the guy that gets you stuff that comes to your house and helps you take care of things. And he met a baker while he was in jail, and the baker does what?
Yes or no?
Bakes stuff, all kinds of stuff, and they go back. You have a butler? Cool. Very cool. Hey, you too. Come around here so you hear what happens next. Okay, so everybody goes to bed when they're in jail because they're tired and they're sad because they're all in jail. And they go to sleep, and the butler and the baker have dreams, and they tell Joseph about the dreams, and Joseph tells them what their dreams mean because Joseph's special gift from God is to know what dreams mean. Just like some of you are fast readers, some of you are good at math, and some of you are good at drawing, and some of you are really good at playing basketball or baseball or softball. Baseball or riding four-wheelers or whatever. Okay? So Joseph's gift was to be able to know what dreams meant. So while he's in there, he tells those guys what their dreams mean, and one guy, who's the butler, gets his dream meant that he gets to go back and work for Pharaoh. Okay? And the other guy, the butler, or the baker, he ended up, what happened to him? He had to die, which was sad, but it happened eventually. Okay, so we'll drive the bus in a minute. Okay, so now Pharaoh starts having bad dreams. You guys remember Pharaoh having bad dreams about the skinny cows and the fat cows, and the skinny cows eating the fat cows, and the cows are gross anyway? Okay, that part's not in the Bible, but it's true, just believe it. So Pharaoh gets really upset, and Joseph comes to Pharaoh's place, and Carly, come help me for a minute. Let's go sit down and sit. Come on, we're going to watch. Let's go sit down and sit. Come on. All right, sit on your throne, Pharaoh. Come on. You're going to pick it up. All right, so Pharaoh is king of the kingdom. I see him on the salt. He's going over. Now, Joseph comes before him. Abby, come here and help me.
I want to help you.
Oh, sit down. Well, you can all help me in a minute. Abby comes before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh talks about his fat cows and his skinny cows, and Abby, who is Joseph, tells Pharaoh all about what his stuff means, which means the fat cows were having plenty, and having plenty means having lots of things to eat, right? And then the skinny cows represented were telling Pharaoh about how his land was going to have drought and famine, which means, big thumbs down, no food, no water, nothing good. Doggone it. Sorry, Pharaoh, but I have an idea. And Pharaoh says, well, if you have an idea, I'm going to make you like vice king. Does that sound cool? And I'm going to give you a new name, and your new name is going to be who in Miss Donna's class can say it? Top Knot Panea. But that was close. Good job. Very good job. That's hard. And it starts with a Z. Now, how crazy is that? All right, stand, Adam. So, Joseph says, I can do it because I can read and write and I'm really smart. So, he gets made like mini Pharaoh. Okay? He, she, whatever. Stick your arms in, sister. Armhole. Good job. Hold on, we got another armhole over here somewhere higher. You see it? Did you see it? Oh, this is so fun to see it. Alright. Alright, so you are now, sorry, just kidding. Does stick to the arm? It's alright, I'll fix it. You are going to be Pharaoh, so here's your weird hat, and your cool snake on the top, I'm going to bite you. And you are Pharaoh in training. Now, the nice thing about getting to be Pharaoh and mini Pharaoh is that, remember, Joseph didn't really have a lot of stuff when he came into this, and then he ended up in jail, so he had even less stuff. So now he gets all kinds of cool bling. So he gets cool shoes like Lakin. Show off your shoes, Lakin. Where are you? Show everybody your shoes. Sparkly shoes like Lakin. He gets awesome jewelry. He put a ring. I don't have a ring, I'm sorry. A big ring on his finger. Ooh, it's okay, we'll fake it. He put a big ring on his finger, and that let everybody in the kingdom know he was the dude in charge. I do, but they don't come off very well. Okay, so the dude in charge has an idea. Now, remember when we were talking about our 7 years of plenty? Just stay right there. In our 7 years of plenty, we had lots of leaves on the trees. We had lots of green foliage and grass and wonderful flowers blooming everywhere. And plenty of food to eat. Okay? That's for 7 years. They had that. So, just a minute, baby boy. Just a minute. Okay, just a second. So, what Joseph decided to do was he had them build like big storehouses or big warehouses or big barns. Okay, so all the people in Egypt built all these barns. Okay, a bunch of them, a whole bunch of them, and then he had everybody bring him some of everything they had. Like you guys are all farmers, so you're going to bring. You guys are going to bring some of your farming stuff, like your cow food and your corn and carrots and hay and yogurt and stuff like that. And we're going to put some of that stuff, just some of it, we're going to give it to Joseph and he's going to store it in the barns, okay? And you guys are baker people, so you're going to bring like flour and stuff like that we're going to need to like make breads and things like that. And we're going to store that in some of these other barns, okay? Now, we're going to do this for a long time, like years. Like 7 years.
That'll be some good bread.
Okay? Because we're having a great time. We have lots of food for our tummies. We're all getting fat. Our animals are fat. We have beautiful rivers running through our land. And we have stuff everywhere that's good to eat. And we don't have to think about it. Because you know what? In Joseph's time, they didn't have grocery stores. So when you ran out of food, you were in big trouble. You couldn't just go down the street to the grocery store in your car or on your camel.
No Walmart?
And get yourself, there was no Walmart.
Ah.
It was truly a desolate place. You couldn't go just buy food. You had to have prepared for a time when you didn't have food. So you'd have to have something in storage. You'd have to, like, a lot of your great-grannies canned stuff. My mom's mommy used to can stuff. It's wonderful. She'd grow stuff in her garden in the winter, and then she'd put it in special cans and make it nice and hot and seal it. And then when it was wintertime and there was snow on the ground and we couldn't grow beans, we could go downstairs and we could pick beans off the shelf and eat it. It was delicious.
Hitting a big monster.
I know, okay. Well, I figured that was way beyond Nickelodeon and the World Wide Web. So. Okay, so, now, Joseph also said the fat cows were going to disappear, the skinny cows were going to appear. The skinny cows represent what?
That house of God is
What's
probably not
famine?
good.
Nothing.
I'm hungry.
What is it? Tell me what
Look
it
at
is.
Jackson looking at the guitar playing.
Right? What does it mean?
My belly's growling.
Nothing to eat. That's bad news, man. So, all of the yummy stuff, the pretty blue water, the pretty trees, our nice green stuff, all disappeared. And it was a long time before we saw it again. 7 years. So, the good news is, during those 7 years, when we had a lot of stuff, we were putting stuff in our barns, remember? So we have something to go and collect from. Kind of like the grocery store. except it wasn't the grocery store, okay? So can you imagine, now all of Egypt has been saved because Joseph planned ahead. He used the gifts God gave him to build the barns and have everybody bring some of what they had and store it away. So for the next 7 years, we're set to go. So everybody go on Monday or whatever day of the week that they were supposed to, and Joseph would line them all up, and he'd give them out stuff from the barns, and they'd go home and they could cook their food for a whole week. And then they'd come back the next Monday and they'd do it all again. Now, there were some people in other countries that didn't do it. Countries were around Egypt, and they didn't think quite that smart. When they were having the pretty trees and the lots of food, they got their bellies big and fat, and then guess what happened? When the famine came, they had no food to feed their fat bellies with. And guess what happened? They started dying and getting really gross skin. Okay? So they weren't doing so hot. We're going to find out what happens next week to some of those guys that are connected to this guy right here. Okay? They're going to reappear again. And we're going to find out a special something really amazing is getting ready to happen to Joseph. And he's going to be in for like the try of his life. All right? We're going to have to